on the defense. So that's a lot of utility smoke that you're gonna have to play against here. So if you're Cookie Koalas and you're starting things off on the attack, what kind of like plays are you expecting to see from them here?
Oh, Kooky Koalas on the attack here. I'm going to be keeping my eye mainly on Anderson. Looking at their setup right now, probably going to be farming this orb early, so I would imagine
Mhm.
he's going to be tossing up that flame wall to try to farm it. That I mean, Anderson is going to be your key player here. Look how many run it
Mhm.
backs that he can try to farm. Um, just within this first half. Oh, in fact, he's not even going to toss out the flame wall, just dry peeking alongside his comrade. So take a look at this right now. Looking at the anatomy of this, they're probably going to be trying to again take map control, mid control here. Excuse me. Um,
Mhm.
Probably looking to finish up over towards C. I know they're a little bit ostracized over towards mid and A, but I think this could be a really good or B exec for them.
Yes, you're already seeing Kohler just sitting on that border, trying to see if they can catch anybody. It's a little bit of a dance with Ian, but look at
See,
Ange though. How pushed up he is over on C side. So I think they're just taking it back to C. Plix, they do have this like
person over towards
crossfire
B.
here. Oh, but Kohler will find the opening kill over on B side. That's forcing the attention away from C as Screwface already flies in. They're getting their picks. And Soniqs, they're down to Crunchy on that brim. Blink of an eye,
Solid.
his teammates are gone.
Super solid execute. Crunchy, not really much he can do in this situation, but it really was attack on two fronts in that case, right? Kooky Koalas first starting with Kohler, who just kind of walked in over towards B off the back of the timing from the rest of his comrades. That's the power of map control. Honestly, you saw basically the perfect demonstration right there. And from there now is Kooky Koala dashing in behind their smokes. It's really well structured. Not much to say about it other than the fact that they played the most fundamental Valorant I think you can get in that situation, and they won every fight to boot.
Absolutely, and has to feel good for the Koalas coming in from a win. Now you're taking in this first round. Try to see if you can capitalize on this momentum. I mean, typically, right? A lot of people will say, "So I hear." Haven attacker sided. So when you're the Koalas and you're sitting on the attacker side, you want to get as much rounds as you can. And as you said,
Nice orb.
Anderson farming that orbs as often as he can. Sonics, they're just kind of has to have to sit there. Oh, look at
Gonna
this.
smoke dash up here, just as they
Oh,
saw in the pistol round.
exactly. And he does into the safety of his smoke, and Anderson will even find Bob in
That's
his
the first
own
ultimate.
smoke. Those are just bodies are dropping. And again, it's like deja vu. Crunchy, he's like, what? You're all dead again. I'm still walking my way over.
Such is life as a rotator, you know?
Absolutely.
Sometimes that just happens.
Oh,
Nice.
I've been there. That is me anchoring away. Kohler clutches and closes that out, finds the kill. Oh, that is now two for the Koalas, but they're going to be on the bonus. Or rifles for the Sonics.
I still feel really good about this bonus, however, from the Kooky Koalas, because big thing that I'm going to be looking out for again, Anderson. He's already charged up an early run it back here. There's going to be more where that came from here. That's the reason why Phoenix is so heavily played on this map. It's just that orb towards C long. It feels so easy to go for. I'm expecting same thing yet again. I want to see deja vu once more here. A quick burst up towards C long behind that run it back. Do the dash play behind with Screwface too, and I think they're going to be in for a good time. Like, I think Sonics haven't quite dealt with it just yet. No reason to switch things up, especially when you have a bunch of good tools and you're on a bonus.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they do have that read, like you said. They're only playing the one player over on C site, and but look at that spike already making its way to the opposite side of the map here. And oh, that is Plix that they could run into, but that is a bird in hand. I
This is a
wonder,
really dangerous position.
so dangerous. I wonder if he's aware that the enemy is so close. They're just like ships in the night, right next to each other. That's a Molly. Oh, that's a great pick. That's a trade. I mean, that's Anderson with the run it back. He's already running through. He finds himself a kill. He's looking for more. Screwface already floating around with the judge. Not going to be able to connect. And it's Ian holding down the backside. And the Koalas down to 1.
30 seconds left.
Solid trades. That was definitely the biggest fundamental factor there for the Soniqs in order to find success in that one. I was really concerned about the position from Plix because it felt like at best a one and done. You know, if he ran into a swarm of enemies there, certainly it wasn't going to be a palatable situation for him. But the trades were very quick going from there on out, and yeah, you're going to be seeing this be a first round for the Soniqs, dealing with it just fine. As for now, we're going to be setting our sights for the next round here. I mean, Kooky Koalas, how do they swap things up here? Again, that run it back still in play for Anderson. This is about the Mark II where you're going to start seeing a bunch of other big name ultimates start coming online. Or excuse me, he didn't use a run it back. What am I saying? I'm tripping.
No, he did.
Tripping,
Yeah.
He's going to start farming it again, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, start farming it. And I almost feel like, you know, if you're a Sonics, you should expect that. You should expect orb contention every time. So you're either paying attention to the orbs over on A, most likely for the orbs at C. But just the way that they've played this right now, they're spreading themselves out. They have the Sage just sitting out, which is ready to wall that out. Dizzy, he'll expend it, walk away, help protect C, but look at where Spike is going. That's a little sneaky beaky over there on the other side of the map.
Doesn't hog the mic, or doesn't exactly hog the orb, excuse me. Go ahead and keep that for later. They don't want to pass it
big.
off just yet.
Big pickups from the side of the Sonics as they drop Koalas down to 3. The Koalas forced to reset. They'll take that spike out, and Bob ready and able already over here jumping through, tries to slow things down with that poison, will pick himself up a kill as well. Things are looking very pretty here for the Sonics, but Kohler will find himself one.
One enemy remaining.
And Ian will have that spike. It's a 1v4 here for Kohler, and he's looking to save that rifle at this point, no?
Most likely. Team is probably going to have to save otherwise, and having a hero rifle certainly would help. I don't know. Expectations aren't certainly too high for this one. If he can retrieve orb, maybe he can try to take a couple of favorable fights, but again, this very much should just be a second round for the Sonics. As for success of what happened there, I mean, I'm really not spotting anything other than a couple of good favorable fights found early, and then Kooky Koalas being unable to adjust, and just not the optimal trade. So I don't know. I'm not really too worried about this. I think Kooky Koalas eventually will have rounds go that way, and for now they just need to kind of focus on those fundamentals, the same focus, the same sort of energy that they had in those first 2 rounds. C execs have been basically the only thing that we've seen successfully for them. Continue that sort of energy. Why not?
Why not? And I mean, we're seeing what, this is 2 rifles in hands for the sides of the Koalas. And I mean, if you're a Sonics fan, or if you're Sonics yourself, you're breathing a little bit better, right? This is now a tie 2-2. Things are looking good. You have the economy in your favor with those rifles. And Screwface, though,
so young, Nikki. I don't know.
It is. That's a flash, and they're gonna play aggressive onto A here. They're looking for some kills, but that wall from Dizzy slows things down on the side of the Koalas. Seekers as well in play for Sonics, looking to see if they can find bodies. That's a lot of information given that, hey, most of the Koalas looking to be on A site right now, and that's going to force them back.
Yeah, but how far does that information really go, though, you know? Kohler can just kind of sit in this position, burn the clock down, wait for that wall to fall, and then make a little bit of noise towards short. The rest of the team could be basically anywhere on the map, and as long as Kohler is just kind of sitting there as a pincer, so many opportunities open up for the Kooky Koalas. This is not a terrible position to be in. Ian kind of in another one-and-done position here. Very unlikely that he gets a second
one
here.
though, eventually to fall. It's absolutely... Oh, but Kohler hoping to see if he can shake things up on the other side of the map. Not able to get that kill. Dizzy will take him out. Sonics still looking strong with a 4v3 here as B seems to be the call. Flix tries to snipe Screwface mid-air, not able to connect. Eventually, finally, Crunchy will take him down. Spike still in play. That's Sheriff to the face 2v2 here. They want to get that Spike down. Harmon picks himself up a rifle as well as getting that
flank,
Spike
though.
down. That
She
is a
could be massive.
sandwich. Very massive. Oh, there it is. Bob grabs himself one, and Harmon to fall. And this is a round that is going to go towards the Sonics.
Simple as that. Soniqs take the round. Nice little retake from them. Dizzy being able to farm too. That was a huge second frag for him to find Resurrection available. And honestly, from there, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of noticing the same things as I mentioned previously. Just Kooky Koalas, they're starting out on the right track, and I feel like the map control that they're gaining, whether it's keeping Kohler in for a late flank over towards short, it's a decent idea, but my mind's so rattled at the moment for what this second half is going to look like that for now, I'm just focusing on if Kooky Koalas do anything too wild.
All right, that's an aggressive play right here on the back of the Hunter's Fury. Harmon hoping to see if they can tag anybody, but no, they'll just tag a little bit of Dizzy, but that's a heal already available. Crunchy trying to spray through. They'll get a trade, but that Spike now being planted. It's still a 4v4 here for the Sonics to do a retake, but that is a lockdown initiated. Trying to see if they can clear things out and push through on the side of Sonics, but they're now a member down. Oh, make that even really quick. That has to be really good.
Double
Oh,
detain, that's it.
Screwface, that's a double detainment indeed. It's all up to
Not done
Harmon
yet.
now with those lineups, but they're just going to take that Spike. Oh, he gets
Definitely
it.
not done. He's insane. Harmon, one of your players to watch and just absolutely vital. Smiley face on the wall, but I have to say it's probably the opposite for Soniqs there. They have to be frowning after losing that one. Great shock dart, bounces off the wall, ricochets right into their body. But from there, the util usage was so damn good for the Kooky Koalas that I'm surprised it was even that close in the first place. Ange had so much impact with that gravity well, as well as the I'm not 100% sure what it's called, but you know, it completely and utterly stunned that player holding over towards short. I'm honestly baffled it was even that close.
I mean, my jaw, I had to pick it up from the floor there. It looked so scary for the Koalas, like 2 detainments and all that. And suddenly it just like swings in their favor here. Dizzy manages to spot a couple there, forced to fall back, debating using that wall, not expended just yet. I think they get a read that there's not a lot of koalas sitting over outside of A. So they're going to hold off expending that wall, maybe for the retake even.
As for now, though, still in this default formation, Kooky Koalas, well...
Oh, never mind. They did use it. Just blocked my vision by the other wall on the map. It
Multiple
happens.
walls here. I mean, it's such a strong wall, too, especially since it's set down vertically, effectively siphons off that area unless you're willing to keep someone there long-term, as we saw from Kohler previously. I don't know, it seems like they're just going to try to go back to their default favorite play, you know, that CX deck that has been so successful for them so far. Look at this! Great
That
response
is
from Bob.
huge. Anderson, even with a great pick, that is a Cosmic Divide and a Viper's Pit expended to try and hold C down. It doesn't matter. I honestly, that Cosmic Divide even allows for a B play, and this is what Koalas are going to do. Anderson burning through all of that utility with that run it back. Orbital Strike expended as well to try and delay any plants, but they will pass that Spike along. Oh my god, Spike delayed to fall. This is a Sonics round.
That is unreal. By the time I cannot honestly believe they win it in that fashion. Kooky Koalas, they have the numbers, they had everything, but it's just the pivotal frags that you get at the right possible moment. It'll be stolen away, and the Sonics, they improved to 4. These have been some really strange rounds, I'm not going to lie. I think Kooky Koalas are going to be a little bit pissed about it. What I'm expecting to see in this round here is... I mean, honestly, Nikki, I think they just try to up the pace entirely. Something quick, a burst in towards C, something of the sort. The clock has been their enemy for a good while now, and I think just as a reaction play, you know, just they have to quickly.
Bob takes down Anderson, Plix to answer as well. Koalas down to 3. You talk about playing aggressive. Immediately gets punished even before they could get through the borders. Koalas, they're down to 2. Make that 1. Ian finds that kill, and Ange on his lonesome has to play back with the spike in hand. They're pushing him slowly.
Soniqs proving that you don't need to see to believe. They find, what was that, 2 or 3 kills through the smoke. No vision necessary. That was a great punishment too. Kooky Koalas in the past, you know, it's something that we pointed out previously. They have been trying to consistently farm those orbs and get themselves up to the run it back ASAP. But this time, with just enough spam, completely counter that, and instead, in the late parts of this round, the late stages of this round, take control of C-Long instead. Ange's position cleared out, a single bullet. Yeah, now they know exactly where this guy's going to be located. Awesome hearing things.
30 seconds left.
Am I hearing things?
Still so much time. Look at Ange just kind of sneaking around. They're hunting for him, and he's sitting in the back. He technically still has time to plummet. Obviously, that would give the position away, but hey, it's a little bit of economy here.
If you feel like you can get away with it, why not? But he's about to be spotted here, and he has arrived in the wrong neighborhood. A drive-by from Bob. She's able to find that one. Make it a posted flawless for Soniqs. And on their defensive end, they're looking pretty strong right now. Really good reads, I think, in particular, was their key to success in that round. Kooky Koalas trying to grab the orb, ended up dying for it.
Yeah, that, I mean, we've talked about this like from the beginning, right? That contested orb, trying to give it to Anderson every time. Soniqs, they're not going to let you do that for free, and they paid such a big price. Look at the economy for the Koalas this round.
Yeah, it's certainly
Blades
not.
Form.
Certainly not a ton to work with.
No, not a ton, but that's a little bit of aggression push into garage, and they'll fall back. But hey, Seekers are used on the side of Soniqs, trying to see if they can scout some bodies here, but no, Screwface just takes them off the tension here. Plix will tag a bit of Anderson through that garage door, and Crunchy spots Kohler on the opposite side as well. So it could technically still be anywhere here, but it looks like Koalas, they're inching their way over onto A site.
Launching smoke.
Oh, don't get caught. They're just like right here at the borders. Yeah, that Sage Wall already gone, but Crunchy finds Anderson, gets that opening kill. Oh, and that's a right click with the blades whiffing as well, but Kohler will finally get that kill. Expends the neural theft.
30 seconds left.
Gives away the position of Soniqs, but they're forced to plant down here. It's pistols versus rifles on this retake, and it's looking quite promising for Soniqs here if they can push their way through and without sacrificing anybody. And there it is. They're getting those picks. They'll get that round. It is going to be 6-3 in favor of Soniqs.
Dealt with just fine there. Not necessarily a worry even from the rip there. Kooky Koalas, you know, sometimes that's just how eco rounds go. That's how the cookie crumbles at times. The fact that they got spiked down, I think, is admirable. It really feels like they're just trying the same pace that they're doing on some of their gun rounds, right? They're slowing things down, looking to take, again, those major arteries of the map here, whether it's like C-Long and then back off of it for a while, maybe keep one person there, etc., etc.
Yeah.
I really think they're kind of due for a pace change at this point. Whether or not it'd be successful, that's a completely different story. But, you know, what happens when you try to force something over towards B? If you look at the radar, they're actually pinging something over towards B, so maybe that's going to be a little bit more heavily contested. I don't know. I think a swap-up is kind of necessary for the Kooky Koalas right now, because Sonic seems to have a really good read and understanding of what they're doing at every major portion of the clock.
Absolutely, and we're looking at Operator in the hands of Screwface here. I mean, we've seen him have a lot of success with that on hand, so definitely something to keep an eye on. But it's going to be hard though when you're on the attacker side and you can't find a site to contest here, because Soniqs, they are really making it difficult for even them to step foot on any site right now. You see so much like lockdown available from all of their utility, and
Spike.
that spike still sitting in the back.
Sharp line replaced. Keep an eye how Plix is holding this one down over towards short. They have a player to help out, that being Crunchy. Right now, Crunchy is going to be acting as first contact, and then I'm guessing they're going to be both swinging after. That's all to say if they're going to path around them. Kohler is waiting right around this corner. Crunchy spotted. There's a flash. There's a peek behind it, and it's successful. Massive
so
kill
nice.
found. Soniqs are going to be able to push in right behind this too, and they found a 2-for-1 frag. Looking to get the spike down next here, but the Molotov and pretty much a util as a whole is so dangerous from Kooky Koalas, where they're able to stave off the inevitable. Spike goes down, but Harmon denies it. That's not just round, but we're pretty damn close to it. Eventually that spike comes through. Harmon has the Hunter's Fury in the lineup of a lifetime. Ian shuts me up. 7 rounds for Soniqs.
That was, I mean, trying to give that defuse to the Viper, you know, take this, Bob, this is for your ultimate. And you have to feel comfortable right now. Even getting that operator donated over, that's, I mean, just the operator denied. It doesn't even look like they're holding on to it, right? They had one on hand already, so they'll just keep that back in base. And if you're Kooky Koalas, you're back on a save. It has to be frustrating. How do you adjust to this?
Well, the answer is with time and maybe on this second half. This has been a very slow game overall, again, by Kooky Koalas. I still kind of hope for the days where they, honestly, I mean, I don't think a full send, a full rush or something like that is necessarily a good idea, but part of me, you know, the devilish part of me just wants to see what would happen.
Ooh.
I think
Screw
that
face.
is exactly what would happen.
Yeah, Anderson, though, with the run it back, trying to push his way through. Harmon grabs himself a pick. Orbital strike, though, destroys where the body of Anderson stood, and he is now off the radar. Kooky Koalas down to 3. They will get that plant finally.
Oh, Harmon.
But numbers advantage still on the side of Soniqs. But look at how pesky Kohler is going to be. Knowing that the Viper is here, he'll grab himself a Bob. Harmon still sitting close. With that judge, they're doing a good job delaying any attempt of a push here. That's a res. Very much aware where it is. Kohler will spray through, will get traded out, still a 2v2. But that spike taken away.
One enemy remaining.
And great pick with that up. Harmon on the backside here. Shuts that down. Much needed win. Swings in the favor of the Koalas.
Kooky Koalas will improve to 4 there. Good rebound from what was a 4v5, and I think part of that definitely has to go to the side of Kohler. I mean, Kohler and Harmon both were absolute menaces in that round, but really, the fact that Kohler found that second kill before he died, taking out the Sage, is massive. Still, that resurrection was pulled off, but the thing is, that only makes it a little bit more expensive for the Soniqs. We have a bit of a technical pause, I believe, before we head into this last round of the half. But, I mean, what's on my mind right now is Kooky Koalas. Sure, it was definitely a bit of a pace change, but I think they just kind of managed to anchor themselves into pretty tricky positions. And it's a good look for them. I honestly love when the Kooky Koalas tried that sort of thing out. Whether or not it's going to be successful for this last round of the half is a still outstanding question. But, I don't know. This already seems like a very dominant, strong performance to start out with for the Soniqs, and I just don't even know what's going to come next. But I keep on talking a lot about the Soniqs, man. I don't know. Kooky Koalas, they have been fighting for so long just today. I'm even tired thinking about the schedule that they've had, so respect to them. I think maybe they can get out this 5th and find themselves at an even game if they were to win the pistol and then the bonus for this next half.
Yeah, and despite whatever advantage or disadvantage a side can bring, they have a lineup that can fare well enough to anchor a site with that cipher on Kohler, and
I'll find them.
Information given as far as the, you know, Harmon on the Sova. And you have the Astra that's just like removes so much like vision. So it's going to be good. But that is a Viper Spit expended over on C site. Bob, she uses it, tries to delay through, but Anderson Yeah, Anderson removes that information, but it doesn't. They're trying to shoulder peek here. Anderson
Oh my
read that.
God.
Hey, IN sitting up there. Oh,
That's huge.
beautiful.
That is a massive ping too. I'm surprised he didn't toss a molly. I think he was worried about some ill timing or that nebula fading before he had the chance to throw it. But either way, huge kill to find. Sure, maybe your utility wouldn't have been necessarily game-changing. Still, the C site for the most part is kind of locked off because of that Viper's Pit. But B site is a different question entirely.
Yes, and that is Cosmic Divide used on the side of the Koalas, but has to feel good, right? That opening Killjoy kill, all of her utility is so dead in the water on B site. Screwface, good position,
Dizzy,
not
dude.
going to work out for him though. That's an aggressive play by Dizzy. To fall, Crunchy will find himself and Anderson as well. It's still a 3v3 here. But Bob, she's on the flank, trying to spray through. Not gonna happen. It's all up to Plix now as that spike ticks away. He needs to find a kill. They know that they're going to hold that post-plant position. Not going to happen. Plix to fall. It's a 7-5 at the half.
A bit disjointed from the Soniqs era. I like some of the ideas that they had. In particular, it's keeping my eye on Dizzy Life. So what happened there and how he managed to pre-aim and then take down Screwface is because although the Cosmic Divide was up, that updraft still made noise through it. And I mean, let's be honest here. If you're going to updraft, you're only going to go one location. If you heard it right there, right? It's not like you're going to fake updraft or something. That would be some really big brain shit. But no, he was just able to pre-aim, find that kill. Otherwise, it was solid trades from Kooky Koalas after the fact. And then, of course, starting with that prediction from Anderson. Man has been on point, especially when you look at his kill tally as well. But even with those reads, I'm not sure who's exactly calling, but whoever is, they have done a wonderful job against the Sonics so far. As we enter this second half, though, Nikki, still anything can happen.
Indeed, anything can. And I mean, we're looking at like how the utilities spread out from both sides here. This is a aggressive play on the side of Soniqs. They want to play in B, Ange to fall. And they're trying to get that spike down, kind of having to deal with a bit of that utility as they had to pass it over as it was still in the back. Screwface gets rewarded with the kill of his own. It's a 4v3, but Koalas, they are down one. And Screwface and Anderson immediately to fall. Can't even finish my sentence, and suddenly Harmon is by his lonesome. Will grab himself a kill, make that a double. They're gonna keep giving him these 1v1s. They have to be careful. Ooh.
3 bullets, so he's afraid to reload. Just doesn't want to give his position up just yet. I think he'll fire off a couple. No, made noise. Now there's no reason not to reload. Now he's going to wait for contact.
That peak. Oh, so close, but no cigar for Harmon. And Soniqs, they will take the first pistol round at the half.
I think right there. I mean, the Soniqs. There's something that Elige has talked about, former CS Pro. Or former CS Pro, what am I saying? Current CS Pro. It's something that he's talked about a lot is it's totally okay just to slow down the pace of the round, right? And I think that's exactly what the Soniqs did right there. As soon as they had control of B, even before getting that spike down, they just kind of sat on their positions. And Kooky Koalas, you know, they felt the pressure. They felt like they needed to retake some map control, and they basically just kind of walked into the crosshairs of Soniqs. That is a perfect demonstration of it right there in that round. And, I mean, that's the sort of thing that you're expecting out of a signed organization or a signed team like this. Just that discipline and that confidence is kind of sit on their advantages.
Exactly. I mean, look at all of that utility pushed onto A side, forced the rotation from the Koalas. But hey, that wall going up at B. There's an attempt to plant, delayed a little bit by some of that utility. So they're like, you already mentioned it. They're trying to slow things down a little bit here. They've already moved that spike away from B site.
I mean, they can sit on this for a while. Map control might be a little bit of a worry for them. They still have somebody making presence over towards B. Not willing to commit their life, that being Dizzy Life.
Oh.
This camera's actually going to spot a decent amount of information, but the rotates are in disarray. This is going to be a little bit of a hectic post plant, but I think it's going to be just that, a post plant. No reason to fight, no possible way to fight before it goes down.
Absolutely. Oh, but Dizzy looking to check those flanks. Hoping to find one, and he will make that a double. Dizzy, you are being a little bit cheeky here. Eventually to fall, Ange will take you down. Soniqs, though, numbers still in their favor as they protect the spike, taking away. Oh, Crunchy now looking for a kill of his own. Not gonna
Wait.
happen as Ange picks up
This is
that
winnable.
SMG. Oh, totally winnable. They're giving
Not
these
anymore.
battles up. No, not. But they're looking for
Oh.
those kills. Ian locks it in, secures this round for Soniqs. Has to feel good. They're leading this 9-5.
It's a little bit concerning for a second there. When I saw a
It's
player
a
pushing in
little.
through defensive spawn, I was like, wait, are they actually going for this? But no, then you see the two players sitting in attacking spawn, and you probably realize that things are going all right. Good farm on the eco like that. Not much to say otherwise. I felt that was pretty par for the course. And exactly the kind of win condition that Soniqs are going to be looking for in a majority of their attacking rounds, right? They want to try to get that spike down as soon as possible, and if they do, they have a wealth of utility just kind of throw at the problem until they win.
Absolutely. Oh, big kill though from Screwface. Grabs himself a Sage
away.
from Dizzy. Plix, they're gonna try to push through as well here. That's a lot of flashing and Molly to drop, but Screwface, he is good
Ooh, that's
for
a
2.
spike.
That is huge. Plix eventually takes that out. It's still man advantage for the Koalas, and they do still have that Hunter's Fury to play with. Ange on the backside punishing this. They were already pinching through. Soniqs down to 2 has to feel rough. They have to watch their back. They have to watch their front. Dealing with all of that shock dart. Harmon, touchdown for him. And Ian on his own. No spike control whatsoever.
Well, it's a bonus round anyway for the Soniqs. Shouldn't
That
be
it
too miffed
is.
about that. How it started versus how it ended, though, I mean, it was very much the same story. Soniqs desperately
Yeah.
trying to pull back that player advantage and ended up just kind of bleeding players. Artillery difference, at least in some part, allowed that to happen. Iron versus World here. Realistically, he just tries to get a couple of exits, but dies here. No reason not to. Go for it, right?
No. Oh, he wants it though. That's a turret down. Just like sacrificial. He's just playing with a bull.
He just can't die here, honestly. More than anything, him dying here would be an utter calamity. Well, die after time, that is.
Yeah.
Nah, it's fine for now. It's still a bonus round.
It is. I mean, you kind of debate, like, do I care if I keep this rifle or not? But, I mean, he'll go to the
Yeah, if you die after time, though, that's a different story, right?
Oh,
'Cause
no,
then you
yeah,
only get, like,
for
the
sure.
minimized credits and you have half armor or something like that. No, it's not the end of the world, though, is what I guess I'm trying to get at here, Nikki, right? We still have a bunch of big-name ultimates coming online soon, including that Resurrection. They're just an orb away, and I think that's actually a good time to touch upon how we at least haven't really focused too much on how the ultimate orbs haven't really been fought for too much over towards C-Long. We saw Anderson do it towards the beginning, but that's about it. As we have a tactical pause underway, I don't think it's necessarily a bad time to pull it through, but I don't know, this game seems a little bit closer than the scoreline implies, and the scoreline is pretty damn close.
It is. I mean, that's, just a few round difference here, and Kooky Koalas, they're on the defense. They do have a lot of things in their favor, and they can just play and try to dictate. They're trying to dictate the pace here. Soniqs, it seems that they want to play aggressive. They're trying to burn through all of this utility on the side of Koalas, but for the most part, the Koalas are not really giving that to them. So it has to feel, I mean, yeah, they won both the pistol rounds, but it kind of comes down to this, right? The last round was a bonus, so let's see how everything plays out now that rifles are in the hands of everybody. And this is the true test, so to speak, to how we can expect the next following rounds to play out for both teams.
Right, it's going to be a good palette tester, so to speak. The actual first gun round where everyone's fully evenly equipped. Again, those ultimates are going to be starting to come into play. It's everything that you could hope for out of Valorant. It's Valorant at its peak.
Exactly.
Koalas, I guess, meanwhile, I'm taking a glance at their setup here, and I think it's interesting. exactly where Harmon is set up here. Oftentimes when you see Silva in this location, it's either that they're playing retake or they're going to be going for an early Hunter's Fury. Considering he has it available, don't think it's actually a bad time to maybe try to pull out that strat. I know Harmon has done it a number of times. I think this, I mean, is this actually a technical pause? I'm not sure. It feels like it's been going on for a while.
It's all good. We're looking at the, the beautiful views, the GeoGuessr area of
This is
this
Bhutan.
map, right? This is Japan. But
Oh,
I
Bhutan,
mean,
come on.
we're also looking what Soniqs on their side. They're going to want to play with that Viper's Pit available and ready to them for that post plant to hold. And you kind of have to wonder, do you want to try and maybe force out that Hunter's Fury, as you said, on the side of Harmon? Because for this map, it feels it doesn't feel like as great when you're kind of stuck in the middle of these like long pathways with not a lot of room to dodge and dance against it. So it's definitely going to be something of interest for me to see like how Soniqs are going to play around that, as it looks like we're already starting back in, and that is a dance around this orb over on C long. They'll give that to the Sage, and that is a resurrection now available as well for the Soniqs this round. So they're going to feel a little bit more confident, barring they keep her alive, to try and make something happen here. But look at that. Wall goes up, cam goes down, traps as well, but that spike making its way onto middle so far. And
Pretty slow
Kooky-
default. They farmed orb, backed up. Didn't want to overstay their welcome anywhere. Haven't taken any fights and necessarily haven't really had to. As for what comes next in the round, however, it seems that they're kind of moving at least one player over towards Garage. I'm going to be keeping an eye on Plakes to see where his Trailblazer ends up going here. Double flashes out. That's 2 players over towards Long, and there it is. Trailblazer goes out through short. Going to be spotted all by that camera of Kohler. And let's see. Look at that. You see how rotation was kind of being flirted with, but as it's made over towards C, they're going to fall right back.
Though.
Well, yeah, it's because people were walking up towards C as it was happening. So
there it is.
Ended up not
That's
being
the
that much of a fake
Viper's
whatsoever.
Pit. Viper's Pit is up. That spike trying to go down, but Anderson finds the first kill. That is a resurrection no longer in play. Screwface with the Blade Storm grabs himself one, but Ian good for 2. It's a 2v2 now. But that spike taking away.
1 enemy remaining.
Oh, that's a sandwich. Crunchy will find one, and Ian good for 3 will lock it in. Soniqs now a 10.
Confident round from them. Got to make sure that your crouch button is working. And Ian, don't worry. It indeed is. I saw you trying to crouch over the bodies like that. They call it a teabag. I don't know. I think it's tactical. Solid round from them. I mean, a bit worrying with kind of the general trend for map control that we saw. Rotations were a bit in disarray. I don't think... I'm not quite sure if they're like looking to try to pull rotates over, because if so, it didn't necessarily do their job, but... It's no matter. When you have a wall, a very powerful wall going through, plus, of course, a Viper's Pit, you have a really solid foundation to work off of for your post plant. And they're going to be trying that sort of fashion again. Look at this. Wall goes through, cutting off the left and right sides of this C long, or of the C site, excuse me. And for now, again, rotations might be in a bit of disarray. You see how this Jet and Asher are usually the ones moving around the most on the radar, and I think based off of information that is given by Soniqs, they're going to be quickly moving back over to the opposite side of the map.
Absolutely. Kohler does that shoulder leap. Seekers as well to come out, followed by the Tasmanian Tiger, looking to see where they can clear everything. Harmon expends that Hunter's Fury, delaying any attempt to push through, forcing the rest of Soniqs back. They are under a minute left here. They're not going to go far. Oh, Ito, look at that.
I think it's just a re-exec. No, they're actually going to be bringing it over towards A. There again is the Astra.
They're faking it out, though, because that spike is still making its way onto C.
This is ridiculous.
Kohler gets picked off on that rotation. So, yes, Bob She will get that spike down. Rest of the team over already. That is a cosmic divide in play for the Koalas.
A little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, Screwface
Oh,
has to try
that's
and
sick.
jump over.
You should run.
Will find
Damn.
Dizzy in the backside. That is a lockdown now being used by Soniqs to try and delay any attempt of a push here. Anderson will get that trade. It's a 3v3, but time ticking.
Yep, that's around. I don't think they can go for this
Oh.
at this point. They're down players, plus they have like 3 of the best heroes to have, or the best agents to have in a post plan.
Yeah.
They have swarms, they have mollies. Just give it up. Save those guns. Oy. Soniqs move on to
Oh.
11. That is wild to me. That was a
Absolutely.
really sick fake that they pulled off, though, Nikki. I want to highlight that real quick because, again, they're showing some really late round presence over towards A, and it's just that single player. Like, it seems that the comms get really, really rough there. It's something that Kooky Koalas, I think, will eventually start learning, right? With those late round execs, if they just want to fully commit to a retake, maybe they'll be faring a little bit better. But for now, I mean, Soniqs are just toying with them.
Heading to the above.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you talked about it at the start. This is a map that we need to pay attention to when it comes to Soniqs. They have some crazy plays, crazy executions here. And Kooky Koalas, they seem a little frazzled as far as trying to deal with this.
Not too late for a potential comeback to happen here, but for now, Kooky Koalas Verge against map point here.
Oh, huge
Punchy.
orbital strike. They'll find Ange in the back. Anderson sitting on the corner over here, forced to fall back a little bit as the rest of Soniqs, they'll rotate themselves out. Is this another fake? Doesn't look like it. I mean, A is just wide open right now. They do have those Kohler utilities sitting over there, so that's going to give them away. And he will hear those footsteps rotating themselves over. But that Brimstone just removing any line of sight. Dizzy will get that wall up, get that spike down. Numbers still in the favor of Soniqs for this retake. Anderson is already forced to fall back, has to heal up a little bit. Oh, this is looking really scary right now for the Koalas. A little bit frazzled. They're trying to push through, but Plix making it very hard. Any vision coming through. That one way in favor. Plix will get that kill onto Kohler, and Anderson sitting pretty up top, waiting for his team to try and push through. It is not happening here.
Wondering if this is going to be a last round save here. Or save for last round, I should say. That is basically the nail in the coffin, isn't it? Screwface playing for exits, has that $1,600 weapon.
Last player standing.
Isn't going to find Jack with it. Harmon, maybe we'll fare a little bit better. No, not even. 12 rounds for
No.
Soniqs. Just like that, they move on to forcing this into a map 3, and this is certainly a little bit more of what we're expecting out of the Aussies. As for, again, things to note there, I just really feel like Soniqs with really strong hits here. It makes you kind of wonder that, you know, do Kooky Koalas just try to commit to playing retake? Because that feels like suicide. Like, I mean, when you have to go against a Viper, when you have to go against a Brim Molly, when you have to go against the KJ Swarms, it's just like you don't want to have to play at that point. But they have not really been able to get a hard read like they have against some other teams about where the action is happening in the early stages of this round. So instead, they're going to try to compensate for that by pushing up. Keep an eye, rather, on Screwface.
Oh,
He's pushed up all the way
yes.
through A long. Hasn't heard anything, but that's going to allow for a lot more, comfort in Kooky Koala's rotations.
Absolutely. I mean, we're seeing a ping come out onto B side. That's a wall up. Dizzy riding it as well. Just sitting up top. We'll find Anderson down below. Screwface good with the judge, but that spike is already planted, and it is still even numbers for both teams here, but the pressure is on for Kooky Koalas to make something happen. Ian on the flank, just messing with everybody, trying to push through. Screwface to fall. Oh, it is looking very scary right now. This is do or die for the Koalas, but they're getting picked off. Hey, they're good for 2. They even things out. They're gonna try and see if they can buy themselves another round here before they go to map 3.
Remaining.
That's a trade going out, but no, it is down to Kohler, and he will fall. Soniqs claim this map.